What's going on, family? What's going on? Make sure this link is started up before I get started. Everybody come in, or if you choose to come in, when you do come in, let's see people a little bit of time to get in. Get this shit started. Trying to put my family at the struggle. So you can lean on me, I won't buckle. I'll do anything for you. Yes, yes. You already know. Give it a couple of seconds. Thanks for joining. For those who joining. I always forget. So I could get to this damn chat thing. Trying to get to this chat real quick. Mm-hmm. Life will push it to the dark side. Ooh. Come on. Where the shit at real quick? Dang. Always forget. Shit. Always forget. All right, well, read the title just so you can figure it out. Just read the title so, you could join the discussion. And you know, read the title so you could join the discussion. I'm trying to get to this damn chat real quick. Let me give me 3 seconds because it's gonna be a quick little convo. Quick little convo. Something real easy. Like to push it to the dark side. Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. Jeez. Okay. Please get the chat started. Get the chat started. All right. All right. If you're already in, press the like button. You got to press the like already. And I'm gonna put the link for those who want to jump in. If you want to jump in, you could jump in. I know everybody doing their little. They already got shit going. They already going live. Let me see. Paste this thing in there real quick. Then we get started. All right. Yes, yes. All right. One more time. Like push it to the dark side. Yep. I'm here. I'm gonna show my face. Don't worry. Show my face. Yeah. Just trying to get all this, you know, maneuver through this or whatever. It's like show whatever, however many shows we done got done or whatever. But just trying to squeeze in the show real quick before I actually get to the studio. Gotta get to the studio, finish some joints up. All right, but the discussion is, does your family need hope or real results? Does your family need hope or real results? Excuse me. Hope versus real results. And it being President's Day, and some they labeling it Obama Day on Twitter, and it's also Black History Month. So we're gonna try to like have a combine the conversation just so we could kind of see gauge where we at as far as history, because this is a historic year. That maybe some people are not familiar with, but either way, you got to know this is we living in we living in times where people are gonna look back like, what the hell was going on? And so we're just gonna chop it up with that real quick. All right. So let me make sure you understand that the link is out there. You want to jump in? Peace, family. Peace. All right. So if you, I'm trying to think, should we just get started right now? Because I actually gotta go. Like I'm like traveling. I gotta go to the studio before I go. So I gotta like bring all my bags with me and go to the studio, then get back on the road again. But again, you already see that I'm actually at my friend's house again. All right, so let's get into the discussion. All right, and people, when you catch it, they catch it. All right, so let's go with it. Okay. All right. So the this conversation is about a lot of people going out saying well, President Obama was a symbol of hope for our people, that's all we needed was him as a symbol of hope. And that's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I salute Obama, and I appreciate him as a black man to take a chance and say, I want to be the face of the United States and actually bring hope to people who may feel like, these are tough times and things are hopeless. Okay, so keeping that in mind, a lot of people actually feel like that's all we needed because us being removed and maybe not studying history. A lot of us skim over history because we only catch what we think is important. A lot of us, from children on, grew up on video games, grew up on cartoons. The few of us that were interested in history. Um, Sometimes get blindsided by current events and don't do what we call the Sankofa, where you look back and you kind of gauge where you're at today, and learn from the lessons of yesterday, so you don't make the same mistakes. Because it seems like over and over we keep making the same mistakes. In every discussion, we have the same discussion about how from the Dr. Claudes and the Garveys, where they seem to kind of be beating the same drum about forward progress seems to be going backwards, and it's not really, and that conversation is not as broad. This is not like one of those, oh, I'm talking about everybody, I'm talking about black people in particular. This is one of those, okay, Black History Month, we're going to focus on African Americans, black people, Moors, Hebrews, um, whatever other description that we missing right now. But you get the point of the discussion is what we call black people, period, point blank. Because if you go to Europe, they won't be able to tell if you're Nigerian or whatever the case is. They're just going to say, oh, he was a black man. But anyway, the point of it is, when you look at President Obama and the 8 years that he had, right, and the impact that he had across the board as far as just the presence of a black man in the White House, just the idea alone blew a lot of people's minds, to the point where a lot of people said, a lot of elders, especially a lot of elders, were saying, don't talk bad about him, don't ask him for nothing, just leave it alone, leave him alone. And it left us in a position of just being in awe and just waiting for his next dance move, opposed to pressing issues of politics and policies that we needed to be put in place. So we was leapfrogged by every other community that knew to take advantage of this new president. Because every time a new president comes in, businesses and other nations, and whether it's other countries, but other nations know the new president is a prime time to present your case. And unfortunately, for most African Americans, most black people, it was more like, well, we got what we need. We just wanted a black man in office. And I personally didn't feel that way. My thing is, I wanted results. So the question is, would you prefer hope or versus real results? Would you prefer hope or results? Now, can you pay your bills with hope? Can you actually uh, feed your family, with hope alone? Now hope is important because, that can push you to the next day. Hope is important to push you to the next day. But I don't want to compare. It's hard to compare, Obama just to like a Donald Trump, or to let's say like George Bush, or even though obviously they're all presidents or whatever. But I want to keep it 1,000 and compare him to other black politicians. And the politician that I want to compare him to is Adam Clayton Powell, who was another symbol of hope, at his time, in his day and age, right? So for those people that feel like, hope is when we get a black president, and then just leave them alone, and that's all we need. for our children. And I think that's some bullshit that I can't agree with that at all. Like, I think it's cool. Yeah, yeah, it's cool. I love Obama. I love the fact that he was in, but just the fact that he was just in, mm-mm, nah, nah, that's not the end goal. The end goal is actually get things that we need done. And shit, if you know, just having them in and not getting anything done. And if you actually realize most of the policies and most of the BS, Africa never got bombed this much under any other president. Africa was bombed the most under President Obama. Africa, what is it? 4 African nations: Somalia, Libya. What is it? Somalia, Libya. Jeez, I'm losing it right now. Sudan, and I believe one more, but you already know the ongoing with South Africa, Mali. It's so many skirmishes that was taking place in Africa that was put on what you would call a hot list by President Obama. But the thing is, the symbol of hope and the symbol of him just being so charming and well kept, in a great presentation. But at the same time, it was under him that those countries were put put on that category of watch out for them. They have the most terrorists, and those terrorists were children that were being murdered and massacred with drone strikes. Not because he sent the less troops, right? Because he was sending multitudes of drones bombing those countries, and not him per se. It's not like he was flying these things. It was just whether you sign or sign off on it or you okay it. It's still under his watch. If you just go back those 8 years, a lot of blacks were massacred on large scales throughout the world. In Africa in particular. What he did was he did hold off the building in Israel as far as Palestine. But again, the symbol of hope is what kept us quiet while the 150 children that were murdered, it kept black people quiet. Kept black people quiet for a while. Actually, not even addressing it. The AUMA, that the African Union is like a bank, African bank. That they were signing, but pretty much what it was like almost a draft for World War III. The last discussion when we were saying this, just remember, never forget these nuts, was because the point of it was the policies put in place are already there. It's already an agenda that they push from president to president. Right now, the Trump wild card is where they present it, where he's the alternative. Like there's multiple agendas. They always plan from A to Z. They always have multiple agendas. So we're living in like a alternative world right now, a different paradigm. So right now what's happening is the agenda is still getting fulfilled, but they're just gonna go about it another way. They just going about the same agenda, but just another way. But at the same time, they're leaving a little breathing room for you to actually get things done. So that's another part of the discussion that we're going to try to get off on with a little bit of time that I do have. And again, in comparing Barack Obama presidency to Adam Clayton Powell Jr.'s terms in office, as far as like being a congressman. Now, for most people that feel like, when you a black politician, being a U.S. president is one of the highest offices that you can reach. But for black people in particular, if he's in that office and he's not doing anything, like just being a face card is not good enough to me personally. I don't know if maybe it's cool to some other people, but whereas Adam Clayton Powell being in office, he was able to get more accomplished for black people, so much so that they wind up trying to create obstacles for and you got to think about Adam Clayton Powell's time versus Barack Obama's time in office. Adam Clayton Powell was around during real racism, doing real bigotry, doing real prejudices, doing real problems, real issues, whether from presidential assassinations, real lynchings, real things happening, real issues, not social media fake stuff, not made up stuff, not fake false flags, real things were going on. So you got to realize the atmosphere. I just want to set the stage for the comparison. And when you get people who say, politics, we don't have nothing to, we don't need politics, because you got to realize, being in the community over and over, it was hammered to me that, bringing up politics and courts and all of this, I'm a coon for bringing that stuff up. You got to realize that was the conversation throughout the Black community. Like, we don't need that. What we need is bloodshed. And I still haven't seen Black, when I say, and I'm so anti saying that, especially to people who don't have it all in their head, because when you say bloodshed to a bunch of people who are undisciplined, have no integrity, what they're going to do? They start killing each other. So that's why I said, okay, if you're going to say that, well, I'm going to put out the message of the killing got to stop. You understand? Because what winds up happening is you send a message of bloodshed to a bunch of idiots, and then they start killing each other. In turn, you wind up with a Chicago, you wind up with a Detroit, you wind up missing opportunities of clean water and housing. Chicago, you wind up missing these things because you so focused on the bloodshed part that you miss putting policies in place that can actually help your family make progress. Adam Clayton Powell accomplishments were hijacked by Lyndon Johnson. Like, Adam Clayton Powell is one of those politicians, Black politicians that obviously you can say everybody have their flaws. Everybody have their flaws, but I don't want to focus on Obama flaws too much. I don't want to focus on his flaws too much. But I just want to say, when you look at the men and women that's saying, Obama, leave him alone, we didn't need nothing from him, because he just was the symbol of hope that our people needed. And then they don't say, then you don't bring up somebody like Adam Clayton Powell, where he was a symbol of hope, but he got results, he got things done, he got bills passed, he got several bills passed, the anti-lynching, the civil rights, which I want to bring up with some of the visuals. But before we get before I go in any further, let me make sure I just address say what's up to the family inside the chat real quick. So, okay, peace. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. What's going on? Melanated Neutrino, what's going on? Yeah, we need results. She's like, yeah, I'm with it. They dangled hope around our heads. That's a fact. Queen J, peace. What's good with you? All right, lovable glow. That's right. Loving it. Okay. So, all right. So pretty much, we all for results. I think we all could co-sign that. At least, at least in our group, we for the results. You got what I'm saying? So, let's see if I could get to share the screen. Let me share the screen real quick and show you some of the things I see. Just show you some of the things I see. And let me give you a heads up. All right, so Adam Clayton Powell, he co-signed Malcolm X at a time when Malcolm X was, how about this? Let me get this thing out the way. Let me see. All right, I'll do it like this. All right. So yeah, Adam Clayton Powell, you see him, he's co-signing Malcolm X. Malcolm X was obviously one of the most controversial men at the time. You see Adam Clayton Powell with him. Now, who was Malcolm X's main opponent at that time? It was Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, the only reason at that time, for a small amount of time, well, no, for a majority of their careers, they were anti each other or something like that. There was small feud between the two. At the very end, they found a middle ground, but they was taken out before they can actually make progress from the middle ground that they found together. But the point is, Adam Clayton Powell was a prominent figure in the Black community. You could do any bit of research, your own research on him, and I suggest you, there's like a documentary on him that you could look up and watch it. But what happened was, Adam Clayton Powell's father was a pastor and passed on that whole, I believe it was like the Abyssinian church or something like that. He passed on the legacy to his son, which was Adam Clayton Powell. Adam Clayton Powell chose to go the political route. Okay, co-signing the political route, but he had the cadence and the speech of a pastor. So he had the passion, the cadence, the sayings, the keep the faith, baby, all of that. Faith is hope. Faith is spiritual. Faith is like that religious sense, like keep the faith, meaning keep your spiritual energy high. But he still was able to keep his spiritual energy high, but still getting real physical results. All right. Now the key thing for bringing up Malcolm and Powell, because little to Martin Luther King, like they say there's like documents of Martin Luther King that they haven't released, right? Because there was, within the COINTEL agency, within the whole government agency of them trying to find somebody to counter Adam Clayton Powell, with that same spiritual, that same, what they call them, the Baptist church, preachers. He knew how to captivate the people with his preaching style, but at the same time he was a politician where he can get those policies done. So they needed somebody to counter Adam Clayton Powell. So finally they found this young kid in this church. They scope, they was going all around. They was going all around the states trying to find a good voice to counter, to neutralize this man's voice. And at the time it became Martin Luther King. And I believe when those papers are released, it'll probably go into more details about it. But what they did was early on Martin Luther King, his discussion of nonviolence, et cetera, but he chose never to get into politics. That was his clause. Like, I don't want to get into politics. Although he dealt with politics, he didn't choose to get into politics. So that became a discussion for our people where we can talk, but we never actually, if you listen to the conversation of the people never actually want to get into politics. They say, even to this very day, people still say, nah, it ain't for me or whatever, right? So, now listen, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, and, you had several artists, musicians, and sports players that get into politics because after a while of dealing with the politics of the music industry, we wind up in politics somehow anyway. But anyway, for this day today, I'm gonna talk about their issues. Okay, so with Martin Luther King, the presentation was they created a anti-Powell movement and an anti-Malcolm X movement. So it was clever what they did, and that's why in the discussions, when you hear questions about Martin Luther King to Adam Clayton Powell, he's adamantly against Martin Luther King because there was nothing being done. It was just his Martin Luther King's earlier conversations were great conversations, but they didn't bring results. It was just conversations where Adam Clayton Powell was a man of results. So Martin Luther King had the cadence and had the energy to galvanize the people, but he by the time he got hip to what was going on, he was taken out. And then it was already too late. So that's why I'm saying, like, again, Martin Luther King was the first, I don't want to say the first, but he was one of the most glamorized figures of hope. And this is where you get Adam Clayton Powell, who passed all of those civil rights bills, and everything that Lyndon Johnson is credited for came from Adam Clayton Powell. And Lyndon Johnson, they're trying to, glamorize, and they had a recently, they put, I believe HBO made a film on Lyndon Johnson. He's a dirtbag of all dirtbags. He's from the whole, all you gang, and Bushes and all of these, they all run together. When you think all you Bush, Kennedy assassination, you got to think Lyndon Johnson, like dirtbag shit. But they try to make it like, oh, he's the reason that the civil rights, because you got to realize he's actually the reason that the civil rights didn't pass sooner, because he was holding it up with all his friends in Congress and Senate. He was making sure that they wouldn't pass the bills that Powell was passing on to JFK in order for him to get the credit. He was holding it up, knowing that they were going to assassinate him, just so he can take the credit and seem like the hero and walk away in the sunset. But it was actually Adam Clayton Powell who was pushing those policies. Simultaneously, at the very end, Martin Luther King also presented policies that that were added added to the bills, added to these civil rights bills. But let's just say like when Queen Mother Moore teamed up with Martin Luther King and presented the reparations to JFK. Like that's that was what they was trying to slide into the bills, and in turn they flipped it and said they'll just do this whole civil rights thing. We'll do it, and then they all were assassinated, and then all they did was just pass the civil rights, and then in turn he took the credit. But the point of it is most of this stop the lynching, fair housing, fair schools. All it's like 60 or so bills or more that Adam Clayton Powell was able to push through as a congressman, which got real results that affected our lives, that still affect our lives today, opposed to what we would call hope. So in turn, results beat hope back in the 60s, the 40s, the 50s. And let's fast forward again, you see him, co-signing Malcolm X, who was also a man of like, yo, we need results. He wanted to go about his results a little differently, but at the same time, he was about the results. And for Adam Clayton Powell to co-sign him, that's what made him really get into the crosshairs up under, the COINTEL government and all of the J. Edgar Hoover gangsters and all, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty much I wanted to show you that, but also let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with okay, now look at this right here. Because of everything that's going on with Trump, look what they call Obama Day. Look what they call on President's Day, Obama Day. Now, if anybody, maybe because maybe I'm wrong. Like I like Obama. I really like Obama. I think he's super cool. And everybody's like, yeah, see, he carried himself like a real. That's how a president should carry himself. Now, looking cool and and just giving the speeches is cool, but the results that the people that black people needed, did we get those results other than him looking cool? You got what I'm saying? A lot of us, look cool, empty pockets type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a chance to get money and you be like, nah, I just want a gold chain. You like, you sure you don't want to be the owner of the business? Nah, I just want the gold chain and the sneakers and the car. You sure you don't want to be the owner? I'm sure. And you're like, okay. And then you sign the contract and you just get the sneakers and the gold chain and the car, opposed to being an owner and your family living good for life. And to me, to me, is just that's what this is a symbol of. You see Happy Obama Day, you see all type of like remembering Obama as if he did or did something amazing for us, other than some great dance moves, et cetera, and just look good playing the part. Okay, now if you understand my conversation when I say America versus the United States, look what they're starting to do. They're starting to show you that he's saying that the press is an enemy of the American people. You understand that the U.S. press is an enemy of the American people. So if you understand the conversation of America versus the United States, they already they're listening to the conversation, or they're starting to expose themselves to things that I've seen years back, and I again, it's just a reality show, but now we're all in that reality show. That's why I say, when you wake up, you'll realize that you are the actual star of this show. So when you got Trump calling the press an enemy of the states. We could get into that another time, but I just needed you to briefly see that. Again, I'm going at the media. Where's this at? Okay, so President's Day. On President's Day, look at this right here. You got people that organize and are out there marching and protesting. Here's the organizer, Laura Hartman, the protest organizer. Now, they have this thing going. They have these protests going all throughout. They have these protests going all throughout the U.S. They got these protests going all throughout the U.S. Now, when we needed things, it was seeming like, oh my God, it's going to be so difficult. Now, thousands of people out there, black, white, all types of people, not telling the president what they need. You understand? Not saying ban GMOs, get the toxic vaccines, or we need clean water, clean food. Not saying anything, just saying impeach Trump. Chicago, New York, DC, all Atlanta. Look, Atlanta. Oh my, look at these people. So, I know that these are just fraternities and sororities and churches and just naive people that are coming from the other camps that lost, whether it's the Hillary camp, the Sanders camp, the bankers, et cetera, from those other groups and other, like they say, the George Soroses and et cetera, that because they're able to organize across the states within a few hours. They're able to organize within the states, across uh, nationwide within a few hours. Okay, so that's why I'm like, okay, you gotta realize that we're dealing with some bitter bankers, bitter bankers that feel like they've been shorted because their guy didn't win. All right. You got thousands protesting. So let me get back to it. All right. So, all right. So you can see that with our backs against the wall, again, black people in particular, with our backs against the wall. Now, all people, need clean water, clean food, and removing the vaccines because everybody is affected by the vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. But hope doesn't get the results because if you just hope they make the difference and make the change, like protesting that you impeach the president on President's Day, you out there saying impeach the president, impeach the president. Again, who's the vice president? What is his? Are they talking about his policies? What he's about? He's a known politician. I want to show you something. I want to show you something when I probably when I get back home. I want to show you something with the Omarosa and some real slick that they did. But till then, it's when you don't know that they don't actually like they're not really like the best of friends. They're cool or whatever, but at the same time, like again, Trump is more of a businessman, and Pence is more of a full-time politician. So the worlds are not really mesh. They don't really mesh well. Trump deals with them, but don't really have to deal with them. You got what I'm saying? So um, if Pence come in, you don't know his policies. And again, it would be a full house. So the people that are out there trying to push to impeach and saying, oh, we're anti-Trump or whatever, but then at the same time, not saying why or no. We all know why, but they're not saying instead of saying impeach him because you're wasting you're wasting your time because you're not, you know, you're not going to get you're not going to get Hillary Clinton to go in office. Not like you wasn't pro Hillary Clinton when she was running. Not like you're going to get Bernie Sanders in office. Um, um, Not like we fully agreed with his policies of being pro Planned Parenthood, anti reparations. So for me as a black man, and my family, I'm like, I would rather have somebody who's open to talk opposed to people who are like, I don't even want to have that discussion. Like, I'm like, oh, you don't want to have a discussion about reparations, but you'll co-sign uh, Planned Parenthood selling baby body parts and shipping them across the world, and so they could experiment on them and put them in food. And no, we don't like. I'd rather not have Bernie Sanders if that's what he's about. Like, oh, he would have made weed legal. Like, that was what people. That's why some of these guys were co-signing. I'm like, oh, he make weed. Weed is going to be legal when it's going to be legal. Period. Point blank. Right now, it's like at least with this wild card that we have in Trump, at least you have an opportunity to speak, and he will hear you if you actually speak in a unified voice, saying something other than like these wild jackasses out there just saying, "Well, impeach him." Well, impeach. No. We got shit that we need accomplished. Not you're gonna waste 4 days or however much time just saying impeach him. So when you get in, if you're gonna say if you had so much hope, how did it disappear so fast? It just disappeared. See, we had hope, 8 years of hope, and however many days what, 20 something days or 30 days. Hope is gone already. There's no more hope. See, that's why if we had real results, if we had the results, we, you wouldn't even, it's like the morale of the country, of the nation would be different. The morale meaning even the hope was fake hope. It was fake. And we all knew it. Everybody knew it. But at the same time, people were like, it's still, we need that for our babies because, 8 years they grew up with a black president and now, they're not going to be used to anything else. Well, they better get used to it. That's life. You got what I'm saying? But at the same time, they don't need somebody, you don't want to keep drilling fake fantasies on the children and then they never actually look to make real accomplishments. Like you don't want to just tell your children, yeah, don't worry about you, doing real things. Just pretend you are. No, 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 because the conversation in the political arena, and the conversation in the mainstream media is that Obama got hip to what was going on at the very end. It was too late. Now he played it off well. Yes, he knew how to read the cards. He knew how to play the role well, but he didn't get hip to the political process until the last couple of years. You understand? Meaning, when they was putting pressure on him for things that he could have said no to, he was saying yeah to the drones. He was saying yes to all type of things that didn't benefit us. He was saying yes to things that benefited everybody else and all the corporations and all types of policies that are anti people. But at the very end, he got hit. But then, what could have he could have went out and showed that he was aware of what was going on by doing real results, by pardoning Asada Shakur, Mumia, and several other the H. Rap Browns that we all talk about, and all those political prisoners that were in prison unfairly and unjustly due to the COINTEL program and the illegal government that's already on record saying it was illegal. Instead of him pardoning them, he pardoned drug dealers that went back to selling drugs. Manning, not that Manning should have been arrested in the first place for exposing the massacre of the drone strikes that were being co-signed by the president. So he pardoned Manning, which Manning should have been pardoned, but at the same time, he could have pardoned the people that we needed pardon. Like, okay, I didn't give y'all nothing, but I'm gonna just pardon. I'm gonna pardon this part of the family and call it a day. He didn't pardon them, and everybody that he did, well, I'm not gonna say everybody that he pardoned, but I'm gonna just say a few people that he did pardon. It backfired because they went back to selling drugs, and Manning was like, Manning said something slick about Obama that I can't even remember right this second. I think it's in one of the other. I think it's in one of the videos that we was talking about the pardons, etc. But he was like he didn't agree. He didn't think Obama was something or whatever. But the point of it is, again, we got no results. We got nothing. It was just hope again. Then you get the comedians, the actors, the actresses, all these so-called, politicians and people who really care, and these church-going people, and so forth and so on. That's like, no, just leave him alone. Don't bring him up like he was anything other than, a handsome black man. Salute to him for being a Leo. You know what I'm saying? Or you got what I'm saying? But other than that, like, stop. Like, it's not like Obama deserves President's Day should be Obama's Day. No, 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 no. Because it's not like like he did any better than Woodrow Wilson. You got what I'm saying? Woodrow Wilson signed. Woodrow Wilson is responsible for the Federal Reserve. Woodrow Wilson is responsible for a lot of the BS. That's the when you look at the what is that the Birth of a Nation and all of that. Like Woodrow Wilson was, he was a smart man. He was a brilliant teacher, professor in school. So they figured that, oh, he's going to be so smart, he's going to be great at this. Then he got in, and then he didn't understand the undercurrent of the shadow government, how they move their hand around, the federal government, how they move their hand around, because it's layers to the government, just like it's layers to society. Not everybody's good, not everybody's bad, So pretty much in comparing Obama legacy of hope to a man, a politician, like Powell, who got results. Now, if you disagree or you agree, you can always check the record. Check the record of Powell. So when you want to say, well, my child, my little black child, um, he just sees Obama as a symbol of a man, a politician with integrity that was in office and carried himself well. Well, I would say don't refer to Obama. Go to Powell. You got what I'm saying? And shit, just take the best 4 years or best 8 years out of his career. If you want to go 8 years for 8 years, just go take Powell's best 8 years and take Obama's full 8 years and compare them, or take 1 year, take whatever. But at the same time, if you want to compare and you want to say our children need symbols of hope, then I would say show them men who were symbols of hope but got results. Don't show them, and don't stop hitting us with the fluff, and stop hitting us with the shallow just fronting, just where it's just a good where they just posting up looking good in the front, and behind it is like there's nothing. It's just like a movie prop. You got what I'm saying? Like, these are movie prop shits that we getting right now. And when you look throughout the community and you actually talk, like, they overworking women. And then when you look at the men are just dying at a young age everywhere. Like, everywhere I turn, I just see I see a lot of us dying. I know it's due to health. I know this is due to stress. Black people with the cancers, and it's due to all of that. In the society, it's relentless. Life is relentless. So, do we need hope? Yeah, we need hope, but we need results more than hope. Hope is to push you to get the results. So 8 years of hope with no results, and you could have got things done, and we got nothing done. I don't know if anybody disagrees with me, but I'm gonna just go back to the people so I don't talk my head off, and try to make sure, see if somebody's like, nah, because I did put the link in the chat. It's a few of us, and I got to get ready to go. So I just wanted to toss this up. Let me see. You mean as an indigenous? Okay. Okay. Where we at? Jaguar, what's good with you? What's good with you, family? All right. That part. What's going on, melanated? All right. Yeah, he's calling it fake. Well, I have to agree with it being with Trump calling the press fake, because I always have to refer people back to the Rudy Eugene case, because when the CNN, NBC, and everybody else was calling that black man out in Florida a zombie, and they had everybody going bananas looking at black men as if we were monsters, and I'm like, yo, this shit is fake. People were saying I was bugging. Uh, um, Sinetta and the rest of these guys were like, the fuck is you talking about? And I'm like, okay, so we're monsters. Because people was, co-signing it like, well, shit, back in Africa, we would, when the moon was, I'm like, what the? I'm like, are you people crazy? He didn't eat anybody, so I had to go out of my way to prove the shit was fake. And by the time it happened, and I went through all of that, and I'm countering Associated Press and all of that, and they had to come out and admit it. So that's why I'm saying you can always refer back to the Rudy Eugene case. You can refer back to so many cases, but there's a statement by, I believe, a Rockefeller or a Rothschild, or one of them, where they say, the whole thing is about when they get the press to take control of the press. It was like at a Bilderberg meeting or something like that. But they got the press, and they been had the press, and everybody knows they got the press. They bought the press. The press is bought and sold. So is he saying this shit is fake? Of course this shit is fake, because if it don't go, they push their own narrative, and of course, he got his own narrative at the same time. I'm not saying this guy's perfect or defending him, but at the same time, I'm talking about reality. Sometimes our realities line up, and when the realities line up, you got to admit it. So that's pretty much why I agree that yes, it is fake news to me. At the same time, because they, it's very rare that we'll get because there's stories about the way the press are presenting these stories, are trying to make as if black people are the terrorists. So now that group is out, and now they trying to present a new case, but we'll get into that. So let me just see again. Yeah, you don't want Pence. You don't want Pence. All right. Will B was good. Will B, Black Star Line, Indigenous Natural American. Hey, if you look at the definition of America, you know what it is. And I know I haven't dropped the other video, but I'll drop that video soon. I dropped that where it just explains the generation gaps, and it explains the generational uh, link from A to Z. You know how they have Generation X, but I go from A all the way to Z, and there's some other information that's added in there, some powerful information that I'll be putting out soon. But either way, you want to say Indigenous, Aboriginal, Americans, our people. Period. Point blank. You know what it is. Why are they protesting? Get over it, because it's nothing going to change with the protest. Lovable Glow, I think you got that right there. It's just entertainment right now. It's just some people is some people just haven't had a chance to go out and protest from the Trayvons, because I think that's where that was like the beginning of the protesting. It started with the Trayvon, and I got pulled into that one. So now some people are like, well, I want to get the protest, so they go out to like, well, I don't like Trump either because he said something about the Mexicans and the Muslims or whatever. Okay. You say throw away the Greek astrology programming. Hey, I just seen something, Relia. Seen something. It was a quote from J.P. Morgan. He said, millionaires don't believe in astrology. Billionaires follow astrology. So, hey, to each his own. I say do what works for you. Do what works for your life. I don't look at imposing my way of life onto anybody else, because I can't force you to do the right or wrong thing. I just say this is what I'm presenting. This is what I know works personally for me to survive in the chaos. Everybody's blueprint is different. Everybody's fingerprint is different. But you do what works for you, and I understand. So I have my it don't have a final say in the way I function and move, but I do what I got to do. Okay. Yes, fake news. Okay. Yeah. They definitely just withholding a lot of information and just giving us the flakes of BS or whatever. Type of Corvette sinkhole hoax. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to close it out. So we're gonna get ready to close it out. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in with my couple of seconds left that I have here, before I get back on the road and get to the studio and finish up this stuff or whatever. I don't even got time to advertise the songs. If you ain't buy the song yet, Till I Find You, The Killing Gotta Stop, and Hashtag. Those are 3 records that I got out. Support. Just when it comes to our people right now, just give out them good vibrations. Give out, try to, just show love to 2 random friends. You got what I'm saying? Just show a little bit of love. As far as like just send words, kind words, good words, and empowering words, progressive energy. Because I know you women, I know the ladies, you out there, y'all, it's a lot of pressure on you guys. It's a lot of pressure on the men. So sometimes we need the hope coming from each other. But when it comes to our politicians and these men and women that's in positions of power, to get that they're in positions not to just give hope. Like hope is something that you get from each other. Like we supposed to be giving each other hope, and then you're like, oh, I like this person who's going to be our representative in this congressional meeting, or this senatorial meeting, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like when we put our people in office, is not just to get hope, it's to get results. So hope versus results. We love Obama, charming, good looking man, all of that, no homo. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, great man overall. But as far as the job done, I don't know, fam. I don't know. If you feel lost, as far as then if not Obama, who? I said go to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. And there's several others that you can go to that were great black men and women as politicians that got results. But just because Obama's a man, I want to compare him to another man who was seen as a symbol of hope, but got results. So that's the discussion for today. Hopefully, you could carry on the discussion after, once I close out. And the link was open for a couple of seconds, but I got to wrap it up. So I'm gonna give a last shout out to the family. So if you want your shout out, just make sure put your name up or put a one up, or let's do the last shout outs for the people. All right. So let's see. Get the last shout outs and the thank yous. Let's go. Let's start from the top. Yes. Okay, melanated. Peace and black power. Peace, power, and love. Melanated. Thank you, Queen J. Peace. Lovable glow. Always. Love to you. Ralyal, what's going on? I'm talking about them Harlem Kings. I know, right? Because back when me and Charlie nobody talks about my Charlie Rango. Nah, I'm joking. Nigga said he would talk about Charlie Rango. Me and Charlie Rango was in the Korean War together, baby. Nah, I'm bullshit with you. Jaguar, what's going on? What's good with you? Thank you for coming through. Will B, Black Star Line. That's right. What's going on? It will be let me see. It will be the lead top news story today. Let's see. We'll see. With that whole marching thing that they had going, the protests, but it's a lot of distractions, So they fighting for news space. Let's see which BS that they put out winds up becoming a conversation. But I think we're going to start. We got to start controlling the narrative. Some of these discussions are just to neutralize some of the things and counter the nonsense that they got going. And pretty much that's what it is. Oh, Madon, you're supposed to come on, man. You could have got on and you chop it up, but big up to you. Thank you for coming through. Thanks everybody. Hey, listen, if you watching and you on, press that thumb up or something. Press the thumb up. We only here for a couple of seconds, baby. Like press the thumb up. But I'm gonna get out of here because I got I got like a session that I got to like finish up and all of this other stuff. But I appreciate your time for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for spending our little bit of time together. Continue the discussion. I got some more to talk about later on. And, if there's something that I missed or something that other people should know, whether you might do some research on Adam Clayton Powell, or maybe there's something that you can tell me that I missed about Obama. Maybe there's something that like, yo, you forgot that he did this, he did that. And please don't bring up the Affordable Care Act because that's not his policy. That was a Clinton policy that they just put Obama's name on because Obama had the charisma and had again, just the charisma just to get passed under his administration because people was like, okay, just let it go. We don't care that it's not free healthcare. It's just another way to add a bill to people who can't afford it. But if there's other things that I missed about Obama, just let me know. There's things that in the comparing the two, maybe you feel differently. Maybe you feel Obama trumps Powell. Pun intended. But I think I would take Powell. If your children need a politician or a black man that stood his ground in the face of and faced adversity and still got results, I would refer your children or refer the men and women to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Just per se, just to answer anybody's question as far as like, oh, so who? Go to Powell, go to Powell Jr. And I'm not talking about his children. I'm not talking about, his father. I'm saying him per se and the policies that he got done. Check out his documentary that they did. It's well done. There's a few that they got on them. I can't remember the one I watched, but anyway, thank you again. And I appreciate your time. And till the next time. Peace. Hey, yeah, I will do the live channel. I got the RW. I'll do all of that stuff later. And I keep saying I'm gonna do it later. I keep kicking it down the road, but I'm staying active. All right, again, peace, and thank you for coming through.